Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. I've loads of resources available to help you. If you go to my website, if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets that are available in US letter or A4 to accompany each step of this series. All the information that you need to know can be found in these PDF documents. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. If it is that you're working towards actually taking this exam, I've written a book, How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam, and it's full of hints and tips and techniques of how to best prepare for your exam, and also how to best make use of the time when you're in the exam room actually taking the paper. So if you visit sharonbill.com, it's all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be great. I'm really enjoying this. There's loads more, so if you subscribe to my channel, that way you'll keep updated. And so let's crack on. And so now we're moving on in this grade 3 theory workbook to page 26, which I've referred to as section I. So if you turn in your PDF documents to section I, there's just a little bit of information there recapping what I'm going to just briefly explain to you now. So this refers back to all of the work that we've done in the rhythms that are composed in grades 1 and 2, and it builds upon that. And so this actual question now is no longer in the revised ABRSM exams. However, I do recommend that you just give this section a little bit of attention because it's still a really important building block in your music knowledge. And so all we need to do is continue to build upon what we've learned, and so we're composing a 4-bar rhythm. The difference now is that that 4-bar could include an anacrusis or an upbeat. Other than that, I suggest that you stay within the question answer phrase scenario. And so there's some explanation here of how various composers create compelling rhythms or compelling music and how it works with the upbeat, but we'll kind of look at it on the hoof as we work through an example. On page 27 there's also some examples of showing you how you've got an upbeat, and really you've just got to make sure that the maths works. If we've got an upbeat at the beginning of the phrase, then the second phrase must also begin with that same upbeat, and then your last bar is incomplete because this last bar and this first bar are what add up to make the time signature in the whole. And so you can see that pattern is kind of shunting the rhythms across over each section just to reflect this upbeat. So your question phrase begins with a 1-beat upbeat, a crotchet upbeat. Actually it's 2-2, so it's not 1 beat, it's a half a beat now because we're counting in 2-2. So we've got a crotchet or a quarter note upbeat. We've got 1 complete bar. The end of that section is only 3 beats, 3 crotchet beats. And then your upbeat is a crotchet beat to mirror this section here. We have a complete bar, and then we've only got 3 crotchet beats or 2.5 minim beats, which now averages out to complete the bar here. And so we'll look at that. There's lots of examples here showing you different time signatures, but the principle remains the same. So although this doesn't come up in the exam paper anymore, I do suggest you just give it a couple of little attempts because it's really important just generally for your musical skills. So let's just have a little go at a couple of these, and then it's up to you to just try a few. The most important part of this, because at the end of the day we're only composing a simple 4-bar rhythm, what they're really looking for is that you've got the correct number of beats per bar. Those beats are correctly grouped according to the time signature. And then, and only then, are we looking to see if it's musically balanced. We've just got to check that the maths fits more than anything. And it just gets a little bit confusing with this upbeat. So you just need to be careful to make sure you've got the correct number of bars. And so here we've got bar 1. So there's our complete bar 1. This isn't counted as a bar 1 because this and the last bar complete to create a bar. So we've got bar 1. Bar 2, bar 3, and bar 4 is incomplete to even out the upbeat. And so here's bar 1, here's bar 2, and I would just show straight away that's where your upbeat is going to continue into the second section. So there's our question phrase. There's our answer phrase, and you may also want to just jot here, we've got 1 beat here, so this last bar is only going to need 3 beats to be complete. And of course now we don't get the complete question phrase, we've got to complete the question before we can then carry on with the answer. We've got to make sure that the 2 phrases sound musically cohesive, they've got to sound like they belong together. There'd be no point now just charging off on a load of semiquavers, on a load of 16th notes. That wouldn't make musical sense. So we need to know that they're going to sound like they belong together without being too boring. Just to write that in itself would perhaps be a little bit of a cop-out. And then we just need to make sure that the maths adds up. So really, so we've got 1 beat here, we've got 3 beats here, so let's just see what we've got. Let's tap out 1 something. So let's just get things moving a little bit, not going too mad. But we don't want too long a note here because we don't want this to sound finished. Well, it's only kind of a mini ending. We need it to feel like it's going to go on. So let's just finish this on a bit of a steadier tone. So, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3. And 1. So we'll begin the question phrase and the answer phrase the same, but now we need to sort of change things a little bit. So let's just kind of jolly things along a bit. But it needs to sound like it belongs together. So I've just kind of jazzed up the rhythms a little bit here, but you can see I'm counting in crotchet beats, quarter notes. We're in simple time, and you can see that I'm grouping in groups of 2. So let's see what we've got. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3. 4, 1, 2, and a 3. 4 and 1, 2, 3. Beat 4 is finished here. So you just need to perhaps map out before you get carried away with your composition so that you know you've got your maths right. Let's have a go at just one more, and then it's up to you really to just try, because there's no really correct answer. So long as things are properly grouped and the maths adds up, musically speaking, there are innumerable variations. And so let's have a go at this section D here. I'm choosing this one because it's got a characteristic rhythm here, and we need to make sure that we incorporate this. So we've got 2 crotchet beats or 2 quarter notes. So here's our first bar, bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, and bar 4 is not going to be quite complete. Now this triplet, if you remember from grade 2, means 3 in the time of 2. So it's just 1 crotchet beat, 1 quarter note beat. And so we know that our last bar will only have room for a crotchet. We don't want to finish on anything shorter than a crotchet, shorter than a single beat, because otherwise if we finish on a short note, we'll just sound like we fell off the end. So let's just add that now. So we've done the end already. So here's bar 1, here's bar 2, but don't forget we've got an upbeat. So this is the end of section 1, this is the beginning of section 2. So in actual fact, we've just got a little bit of an ending here. So I don't see why we can't have a single beat. It's not too short a note, neither is it too long a note. It won't sound desperately finished. We've not got a lot of time in just 2 beats here. I don't really want to end on a half beat here, because this is kind of a mini ending. So we've actually only got 1 complete bar now, which needs complete composition from scratch. So here we've got a quaver, so that's all we've got so far, 2 and 1. Now I suggest this beginning and each section with the same opening motif always gives it a sense of cohesion. So I'm going to start this phrase 2 as phrase 1 begins. Okay, so now this would normally be beamed, so we're going to have half a beat, quarter, quarter. Let's just get things going. So I'm just going to beam those to show what it would be. And then we'll have half, half, because it's quite a busy rhythm. We don't want, and we've only got 2 beats per bar, so we can't have too many long notes, otherwise your bar will be full before you've got going. So let's see what we've got. So beat 1, 2 and a 1 and a 2 and 1, 2 and a 1. Let's just change things now. We can't do an exact copy, and I think now we'll have 4 semiquavers. Remember, we're beaming in simple time, and then we've got a full beat to end. So what have we got? 1 and a 2 and 1, 2 and a 1 and 2 and a 1. I think that makes sense, and it's all properly grouped, and the bars are completely and correctly filled, and we've got the anacrusis reflected in the end bar, so the maths adds up. And really, you just try various forms. So you're not doing this for the purposes of passing the exam, but I do suggest you just try a few of these, because they're valuable skills to have in your music theory skill set. I hope that's been helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that would be fab. I'm really enjoying working through this series with you. I hope you're enjoying it too. If you can subscribe to my channel and you'll stay updated. And please do go to sharonbill.com. There's lots of resource there to help you, so please do make use of that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.